Hello, beautiful people. I'm Chris Maddox, founder of the Wild Woman Project and Wild Woman Fest. And I'm speaking to you today because I always do at new moon time, and the new moon is here. So it arrives on June 13th, and it initiates a moon cycle, which will carry us all the way through July 11th. So this period of time, this moon cycle, is a chapter in the book of our lives, or at least a section of a chapter. And, at the beginning of each and every moon cycle, it's really helpful to take time, like you're doing right now, for pause, for acknowledgement that something new has begun. And within the course of a moon cycle, for most of the days, the moon is either in some variation of waxing or in some variation of waning. And we have these single days in that 29.5-day moon cycle to pause. And that's the new moon, the very beginning, and the full moon, the very middle. So here we are at the new moon. And it is a time to really do like the moon does and retreat in some way. And all that means, retreat, is to take the attention that we're used to directing to the world around us and turn it inward so that we are at least once a moon cycle turning inward and listening to all that's moving inside of us. And, the whole mystery of our inner world is vast. And it is just that, it's a world. And when we take time at the new moon to say, okay, I'm going to take pause. I'm going to turn, my antenna from being out to being in. And I'm going to get sensitive to the impulses that are running through me. I'm going to get sensitive to the messages that I'm receiving as I begin to turn in. Our inner guidance is constantly there for us. And, for each of us, it expresses a little differently. And certainly in each moment of our lives, inner guidance can come in so many forms. And in terms of our inner world, the inner guidance can come in the form of an idea that we have, a feeling that flows through us. It can come from a physical sensation in our body. We can get a message from that. We could see a vision. We could remember the lyrics of a song suddenly. There are really infinite ways that the inner world communicates with our conscious mind. So we are taking this time to look at the beginning of this moon cycle. So at the Wild Woman Project, we hold a collective theme, which begins on every new moon, and we hold it for the entirety of the moon cycle. And we're in the middle of this year of exploration where we are looking moon cycle by moon cycle to certain areas in our physical bodies, in our energetic bodies, and just, the world of us, but particularly our bodies, our flesh. And we're paying close attention to it. So, that offers us a whole moon cycle to get really intimate with these different areas of our body. So for this moon cycle, the new moon in Gemini, we're really going to be inspired by the Gemini archetype. And the Gemini archetype is the third sign in the zodiac. It's the first of the air signs. So immediately we know that for the entirety of the moon cycle, we can turn to the element of air for inspiration, for guidance. So air is our breath. Air is the finer, more subtle, sort of wavelengths. Air is associated with higher levels of like sort of communication, even collective consciousness, just that which is subtle, right? So air is the element that we actually have a really hard, we can't see it with the naked eye. We can see its effects, but we can't see it in the same way we can look to earth or to fire or to water. So that's something to just be aware of right away, even as you're sitting and, we're being together in this moment, is for us to feel the spaciousness, the expanse, the guidance of air. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is the winged messenger. So it's really interesting and helpful to look to Mercury to understand the nature of Gemini. So fun fact about Mercury is that it's the fastest moving planet. It takes 88 days to orbit. It's just like, whoo, whoo, whoo. Some of the outer planets take decades. So, so we're talking 88 days, it's just lapping, it's going fast. So it says something about the speed. The speed. Gemini is associated with communication, mental process, and it's inherently quick. It's inherently quick. Sometimes so quick that people who embody a lot of Gemini in their being, their mind is moving so quick they almost can't keep up. That the words can't even keep up with how fast the mind is going. And even regardless of if you have a lot of Gemini in your chart, I think we can all at some point relate to that, the quickness of mind, the speed, right? So Gemini is, it has, like all air and fire signs, it has a masculine charge, whereas the earth and water signs have a feminine charge. And this does not have anything to do with sex, as in man or woman. It has to do with the masculine and feminine currents that run through everything that is, right? So regardless of sex, gender, we all have these masculine and feminine currents moving through us. So as we are starting this Gemini cycle, it's an honoring, we are honoring, and we are in the masculine charge, right? So masculine charge is really forward moving. It's action oriented. It's outwardly directed. So this is just to give you a little sense of the taste of this. And, so we are each moon cycle just taking inspiration from one of these 12 archetypes and trusting that the archetypes themselves are so expansive that we are going to be able to relate to them and to learn from that particular archetype. So, Gemini rules the lungs. And that's going to be our focus this cycle at the Wild Woman Project. So our theme is breath by breath. Dance of the lungs, dance of the leaves. So breath by breath. Inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. And so there's the obvious thing of that we're going to actually focus on the breath cycle and the importance of the breath cycle is something that we have the opportunity for this moon cycle to be in contemplation of. In pretty much every spiritual tradition, mystical tradition, if you dig around, you're going to find talk of the breath and breath practices with the breath. So the breath, in the yogic tradition, which is associated with the Hindu path, is, breath is considered prana, life force. So as you breathe in, you are channeling life force. You are enlivening yourself. So you can feel that when you start to just be more conscious of your breath and perhaps drawing in a slightly more deep breath, you feel the charge, the surge of energy. You can feel that essence of, oh yeah, life force. The oxygen feeds us. And there's this opportunity that we have, really inspired by the natural speed of Gemini. Gemini is so fast that the medicine for the Gemini archetype is a kind of breath by breath way of moving through the world. That is step by step, not mentally getting 17 steps ahead of ourselves, but each of us, step by step, breath by breath, moving through the unfoldment of our lives, of this moment, of the next hour, of the next week, of the next moon cycle. There's a way in which we as human beings have a tendency of jumping forward or jumping back, thinking about what's coming, planning for what's coming, remembering what's past. And again, most spiritual teachings are talking, you dig around, and you don't usually have to dig around too hard for this one. Everyone's just talking about being present, about really being here, be here now, title of Ram Dass's book. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is big for a lot of people. And the list goes on, and there are a million ways to say this. So our way of saying this idea of let's show up for each unfolding moment of our life with consciousness, with awareness, breath by breath. That's how we're saying it. It's like a mantra, and it's a mantra that you can use. A mantra is just a sound or a phrase that you can repeat. So think of that. You can, if it's inspiring to you, to think of that. Particularly, if you're planning for something, if you're getting married or you're getting divorced, or you're doing any of these things that we do as human beings, and a lot of the things that we have to do for our life require a lot of planning and preparation. And if we can just have the consciousness, the awareness to go, I'm going to take this breath by breath, moment by moment, step by step. What ends up happening is when we're showing up in our lives, we are doing so with radiance and a kind of magnetism because we're there. We've all been in a conversation with a person whose mind is somewhere else. They're not there. They're not showing up for that moment, not really. So it's a practice, right? So that's what we'll be practicing this month, and we'll use our lungs to help us. We'll notice with the breath and how we're breathing, it is communicating subtle messages to us. Then in the body of the earth, so here in the flesh cycle, like I mentioned, we've been doing this for about over half of a year, where we've been focusing on our bodies. We have been taking a secondary focus on where is the mirror in the body of the earth. So we're looking to the leaves in the body of the earth. So the leaves and the lungs have an interdependent relationship. The leaves need our lungs, and we need the leaves to literally breathe. So for your new moon time, I want to offer you a little practice that you can do after you're done watching this video, or whenever you feel inspired to do it. So for this, you want to either go outside to a place where you can visibly see leaves. This could be a park, this could be your front yard. Or if that's not possible or doesn't work for any reason under the sun, you can sit by your window and look outside. Keep the window open so you feel the fresh air. So you'll start by just arriving in whatever space that you begin this, whether it's inside or outside, just feeling your body in space. So feeling your feet on the ground, on the earth, feeling your seat on your chair, whatever you're sitting on. And then just start to consciously inhale and exhale. So just play with, taking some full rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, become really conscious about the interdependence of your lungs and the leaves. That is to say, on the inhalation, be very aware that you are taking the gift that the leaves are giving off, that is oxygen, and you're taking it into your body, into your lungs, and you're filling up. And on your exhale, you are sending out carbon dioxide, which feeds those very leaves. And the leaves take that in and send off oxygen. You take in the oxygen and you send off the carbon dioxide. So in this practice, wherever you are, just seeing if you can really feel like, wow, on the inhale, I'm receiving this gift. On the exhale, I'm sending off this gift. It's one of the most clear connections, the most obvious teachings that we have, that we are in an interdependent relationship with nature. And we humans forget that. And that's the reason why we have the scale of ecological crises that we are dealing with, and that we are hopefully actively involved in finding solutions for. It's because we're disconnected. We forget that we are interdependent. This is our home. This is our family, the trees and the plants and the animals. We're family here, and we all need each other. So when you do this practice, whenever you do it, see if you can allow yourself to experience that clear interconnectedness, that clear interdependence, that familial connection that we have to the natural world, and the gift of that. So, this is our focus as a community here at the Wild Woman Project for the moon cycle ahead. And I am so excited to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Our circle leader community is so excited to support you in initiating this cycle. So the heart and soul of the Wild Woman Project are the international network of Wild Woman Project circles happening on or near the new moon every single moon cycle. So if this theme and tuning in and having that retreat space in community with other women, in a circle of other women, is exciting to you, check out the Find a Moon Cycle page, link below this video, to see if there is a circle happening near you. And each person that you see listed on that page is holding a public circle. So you can contact them directly. Their contact information is on the site. And I hope that you can join in a circle this cycle if it's inspiring to you. And if you look and for whatever reason, either there's not a circle near you yet, or you can't make it to your local circle, I have created a digital download. It's called Your New Moon Retreat, and it's a guided meditation. It comes with a really colorful magazine-like PDF where I give you lots of things to think about, to contemplate, inspiration for creating intentions for the cycle, and just like juice, new moon juice, so that you can create your own new moon ritual, new moon retreat, wherever you are in this world. So enjoy either of those two options available to initiate the moon cycle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and giving both of us the opportunity to be together through time and space in this very magical, futuristic kind of way, And it's an interesting time to be a human being. And it's clear that it's not an easy time, and that a lot of people are hurting and suffering. And a lot of people are finding new things, exploring new possibilities and solutions. And I just want to say, no matter where you are, if you're feeling super inspired or if your heart is heavy, my prayer for all of us, for the great big family on earth, is that we really do take each moment, breath by breath, step by step, and to reach out if we need help, to give our love to those who do need help, and to be ever grateful for the gift of our life, for the gift of our lungs and our breath, for the gift of the plant world and the leaves which share oxygen with us, and that we can all continue to work on being really good family to the whole world. So we're here at the Wild Woman Project to offer support and sacred spaces for you, and know that anytime you can come to our website and you can click on the current moon cycle, and we offer tons of free resources and inspirations and ways that you can go deeper. And our site has almost 8 years of content on it. So dig around, see what you can find to feed your soul and feel the presence of like-hearted women. Anyway, we love you, and you know where to find us. You can always find us at thewildwomanproject.com.